cancer.
I would also add a little bit of personal responsibility as well, that the doctors are giving the people the permission to sort of take their own path kind of away, and if they want to embrace alternative practices as well, then that's something in there. But
well, it should be a collaboration, basically.
Of course,
Your oncologist, in an ideal world, your oncologist is the person with the overview who supports your recovery, and he's in collaboration with you so that you are working together as a team. You are the client. He is working for you, actually, because the National Health Service is a service, and we have to remember that, we can fire them if they're not quite living up to what we need from them, if they're refusing to monitor us because we're not doing everything they say.
Did you ever go in contact with your oncologist after the one who told you were going to die?
Yeah. Last time I saw him, I had a scan last year, basically.
Yeah.
And
she kept the same one?
Yeah, I like him, actually.
He gave me a terminal diagnosis, but I really like him.
I do. I think he's a nice man,
Okay, all right, okay.
He's a nice man. I quite like. The reason actually I like him because at least he looks you in the eye, and some oncologists they don't, and some doctors they don't. So I like this one because he's quite human, and he does. He's quite down to earth.
Yeah.
He's quite, and I don't know. I like him, even though he's not really on my wavelength completely. And he did think I was completely batty because. And he used to write letters to my GP saying, this herbalist, who used to call me this herbalist, this herbalist is refusing the hysterectomy.
Yeah.
And, they used to sort of imply that I was a bit loopy.
What does he think of you now? Because I know you've still gone back for checkups and things. I know because Facebook status.
I have decided not to go. I have decided now. I mean, I had a scan in India when I was in India this year, and that was great because they're really good over there. They're very good at scanning. It's very cheap. You can just go and pay for one, and it gives you all the information you need without all the sort of all the other stuff that goes. I mean, I just find it a bit tricky because it's like they're looking for problems all the time. Right. They're looking for something. They don't want to just. And actually, they pulled me in. They said, oh, it's not looking good. Your scan's not looking good. And I went to see the radiologist, and I said, show me what you're talking about. And he brought up my picture on the screen.
Yeah.
And he showed me, and he said, well, he says, your womb is actually looking a little bit larger than it was. And we're trained to sort of interpret any change as being a worsening of your condition. So we're assuming that the cancer's getting worse. I said, is there a thickening going on? Is it thicker? Is the wall thicker of the womb? No. Right. So the womb is a muscle.
Yeah.
The more relaxed that muscle, the healthier, the slightly larger it will be, surely. Anyway, he said, he says you could be right. He says, we are unused to seeing people who've not had radiotherapy.
Yes.
And people who've had radiotherapy always have shrunken wombs.
Yes.
And then if they start to grow again, we interpret it then as a worsening of the cancer. He says, you are a bit unusual, he said. It could actually mean that you're getting healthier. He said it could actually mean that. And then he said, but I don't want to say that to you because I know what you're like. You'll grab hold of that bit of information. And I said, I thought that's really weird. Yeah, he actually said that to me.
Okay.
You're going to grab hold of that bit of information.
But the reality is that because you are not of the, because all that they're seeing is people who have been polluted with radiation, which has then shrunk the womb. Correct?
Yeah, I don't want to use that word though.
All right, okay.
It's not, because people do have radiotherapy and people do that, people are making their treatment choices.
Okay.
And we can recover for them. Whatever treatments people do.
Yeah,
have.
I've got plenty of members of my family who've had radiotherapy and it has cleared the tumour and it's all gone and everything.
It can be just the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that is their experience. So you come along and it's like, oh, but how can we treat? Because how many people like yourself come along who've chosen alternative practice?
But do you know what's true? This is a bit shocking, actually. There is nobody keeping any statistics of people like me.
There you go. Well, yeah.
Because do you know what they say? That's just lucky. They basically imply it's just lucky.
With the billions of money that goes into cancer research, and you have made a recovery, how much money of those billions goes into researching you?
Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know about me. Where our focus needs to be, it really needs to be on understanding why we're getting the cancer.
Yes.
You know, what is going on, what's causing it. And you're absolutely right that people like me do need to be studied, you know.
Let's just clarify that, you know, you are getting healthier, your womb is okay, and basically...
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're totally clear.
Very healthy. The Cancer Act, this is a very restrictive piece of legislation which basically was put together in 1939 as a way to protect a government loan for radium in a time when they thought that radium was the answer for all cancer.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure that they could secure enough money to be able to repay the loan.
Yeah.
That they could only do that by suppressing competition of all the other treatments for cancer.
Yeah.
So that's the origin of it. It's a business arrangement, and now it's being used as a way to suppress up and coming information, which is really outrageous. Because I'll be really honest with you now. It's a shocking thing, but cancer treatments haven't changed in large since the 70s.